Guys, I really did it. I did day 89 twice. They were like a week apart though, not even a week apart. They were like 5 days apart. And I don't even remember doing the one until I got like most of the way through it. So you get two videos for day 89 because yeah, that's the way I work. All right, let's go to day 90. Okay, our first lesson into the chapter about surface area was naming and looking at 3D figures. Okay, so remember we look at the bases and we look at whether it comes to a point or whether there are two flat sides. There are two flat parts here, so this is a prism. And then these faces right here, the bases right here, are rectangular. So this is not just a prism, but it's a rectangular prism. And now I need to draw the net. Remember the net is like the flattened portion of it. Okay, so I've got this flat piece. I'm gonna erase this. So this is my attempt to get the flat piece right there. Okay, and then I have kind of these sides right here that I'm gonna put right here, and there's another side right there that I'm gonna put right here. Okay, then we have kind of a front I'm going to put right here if it were flat, and a back. I'm going to put in the back right there. And then the last thing that I haven't drawn yet is the top. So I need to draw another top like right here. Okay, that is our net. And it should have 6 sides because rectangular prisms have front, back, side to side, top and bottom, right? 6 sides. Okay. All right, let's go back to our last chapter. What shape does -2, 3, 5, 3, 2, -2, 3, -2 make? Remember what I do anytime I have coordinate ordered pairs? Create a handy dandy coordinate plane. Okay, so D is -2, 3. So I'm going to go over about -2, up 3. I'm going to label that D. E is over F, up 3, over F, over 5, up 3. I'm going to say that's E. F is over 2, down 2, over 2, down 2. So I kind of already lost square status. And then G is over 3, down -2. Over 3, down -2. Guys, I did this wrong. What did I do wrong? This is supposed to be -3. Okay, let's go back. Let's draw -3, so let's go this direction. -3, -2. All right, that's G. Okay, so it looks like both of these have gone up 3, so that's a straight line. And then both of these have gone down to -2, so that's a straight line, right? But then if I were to connect that, those definitely are not parallel, are they? So it's not a parallelogram, not a square. I would call that a trapezoid. The key for the trapezoid is that's parallel and that's parallel. But those, if they continued on, would intersect. They are not parallel. So it is a trapezoid. Whew, 3 lessons ago, we found areas of like funky shapes. So find the area of the shaded portion. So I just want this right here. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to find the area of this whole rectangle, right? And then I'm going to take away this part right there. And that should leave me with just the shaded portion. Okay. So this right here is a parallelogram. So I'm going to go 22 times 20 because it's base times height. And that's going to give me 22 times 20, 440. So the whole thing, all of it, is 440 inches squared. Okay, now let's get rid of that part. And that is also a rectangle, so that's going to be 8 times 16, which is 8 times 16 is 128. And this is like an empty space, right? So I need to get rid of it. So I'm going to go 440 minus 128. And I got 312, but sometimes I get nervous while I'm being recorded. So I'm going to check with my calculator and I'm going to feel good that I checked my work. So I got 312 for all, just not all of it, just the shaded portion, huh? Okay, find the area. Oh, another regular polygon. Okay, let's just find the triangle. Guys, we just barely did this one. So you better be good, right? Yep, look, exact same thing. Okay, so I should be able to do that. You should be able to do this without me. Find the triangle first. 1/2 times 8.3 times 10. That gives me 5 times 8.3, which I think was 4.15 because I only did it like 15 minutes ago. You guys did it like a whole day ago. 41.5. Okay, but I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to remember that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides. So I'm going to times it by 8 and get 332 meters squared. Is that what I got yesterday? Yes. Okay, perfect. All right, 5 lessons ago, we needed to find the area of this shape. And what is this shape? Well, we kind of talked about it right here, didn't we? Okay, where it has 2 parallel sides. Those 2 are not parallel. So it's not a parallelogram, which makes it a trapezoid. So we're going to do the 1/2 base plus base times height. My bases are, remember, they're the parallel ones that are parallel across from each other. So that'll give me 1/2 of 10 times 3, which is 5 times 3, which is 15 meters squared. DVDs cost $15 each. Oh, hello. Calculator, get out of the way. DVDs cost $15 each. Write an equation for X DVDs and Y total cost. Which ordered pair is on the graph? Okay, so if DVDs cost $15 each, that is $15 per DVD, and we're using X for DVDs. That will give me my grand total. So if I were to make an XY chart for this, if I bought 1 DVD, it'd be $15, right? 2 DVDs would be $30. Remember that X is DVDs, Y is price. This would be 0 DVDs costing me $15. No. 30 DVDs costing me $2. That'd be awesome, but that's not what this is. 3 DVDs, 3 times 15 is 45. I'm going with that one because this would be 15 DVDs for $3. No, definitely not. Okay, there's your equation, and the correct ordered pair is C. Graph the inequality. N is, do you remember how to say that? Which one is greater than and which one is less than? I remember that the less than looks like an L. It's a little smooshed. It's not that one. It's the greater than. So we want to color. We want to highlight everything that is greater than 1.5. So here's 1.5. And then here's everything greater than 1.5. But we also want to include 1.5 because n is greater than or equal to 1.5. Solve the equation. All right, well, that means we got to isolate the W. And it's not isolated. There's a minus 131. So let's do the opposite of minus. Let's add it because then we'll have nothing there. But then we got to keep the equation equal by doing the exact same thing to the other side. So I get 9, 5, 3. Is Mrs. Matt's going to check the calculator? Yes, she has had too many kids tell her that she's done something wrong. 359. All right, I could also check it by plugging that into that and going 359 minus 131. And if I did it correctly, I should end up with the answer of 228. Nice. Okay, so I feel good that the answer is 359. 24 is 40% of what number? It is a percent problem, so I know I'm going to go 40 over 100. And then 24, is 24 the whole or the part? Well, it says 24 is 40%. So 24 is not the whole. 24 is only 40%. So I'm going to put the 24 up here. And then I'm going to solve for this. Now, don't do the decimal way. Don't change 40% to a 4.4 and times it. That only works if we don't know the part. And in this case, we know the part. We don't know the whole. So what we can do is look for a relationship. If I simplified, divided 40 and 100 by 10, I got 4 tenths, and then found a relationship of times by 6, so I could say 60. Does that make sense? Is 24 40% of 60? Yeah, and that makes sense because 30 is 50% of 60, so it makes sense to say 24 is 40%. It's a little less than 50%, just like 24 is a little less than 30. What quadrant is -3 1 quadrant? Do we even remember what a quadrant is? Quad means 4, and indeed there are 4 sections in a coordinate plane, or on a coordinate plane, right? So we got to remember which one it is. We start with top right, that is 1, and then we work our way counterclockwise. So there's 2, 3, 4. Do you remember this? So if we have a -3 1, well, -3 gets me going backwards, 1 gets me going up. That means I am in quadrant 2. Last lesson, well, it was actually 80 lessons ago, but how do we subtract decimals? Biggest mistake students do is they are like, oh, well, look, this one's bigger, so we're going to put it on top. No, it's not. Okay, and then the other mistake is they don't line up their decimals. Don't do that. The first number always goes first when we're subtracting. That tells us how much we have. The second number goes underneath that. That tells us how much we're taking away in a subtraction problem. If we need to, after we've lined up our decimals, if there's empty spots, then yes, we can fill it in with zeros. Okay? I can't take 2 away from 0, so I'm going to have to regroup and still. And I get 3.18. Okay? There is your beautiful day 90 of work. Can't believe we've done 90 lessons this year. Wow. Great job, guys. See you tomorrow.